Hey, everybody, and thank you for being here. My name is Val Hulsinger. Those of you who I invited, you know who I am. And I'm excited about what you're about to hear and experience. Uh, for over 45 years, I've been on this journey of nutrition and the natural way to support people's health and helping others. And I've helped many people over the years. And I was with another company, I'm still with them, and I put over 150 people on that product, and every illness they had either went away, got better, or diminished. But what you're about to hear tonight, this is a very defining time in the history of health and nutrition. This is groundbreaking and history making, I have to say that. And what convinced me is when I would sit in on the Zoom presentations that Jonathan and others would conduct, and I heard all these testimonials about heart problems, vision problems, diabetes, chronic fatigue, lupus, advanced cancer. I mean, the list just went on and on. I go, I got to get involved with this product. So I'm on it now. I can tell a difference in the way I feel. It's giving me so much energy till I don't want to take a nap. I'm used to taking a nap. Everybody who knows me knows I take a nap. And I'm on the collagen and the probiotics, and my nails are growing like crazy. And I can see a great improvement in my skin, my clarity and energy. But Jonathan Davis, he's been involved with this company for some time now, and he's going to be the presenter. And there's 150 YouTube videos on just about every illness you can name and how these products have actually impact people's health. So Jonathan, I'm going to turn it over to you because I don't want to talk no more.
Yeah, that's fine. 1 second here. We're just about here we go. Here we go. First of all, Val,
Can you admit Shelley Driver? That's important. That's my niece in Nashville, Tennessee.
want to commend you for stepping out, stepping up like this to go ahead and have a presentation like this. This can be a bit of a challenge to do things like this and to organize it, but you're willing to go ahead and put your face out there in the front and tell people that you have something that you're happy for them to hear about. So thank you for inviting me to be able to address your friends and folks
and
that
thank you for helping me with this.
Absolutely. Do you mind if we just share a little quick introductory video that would maybe help to set the tone for what they're about to hear? Would that be okay?
Go right ahead.
All right. And this is about maybe 2 or 3 minutes long, folks, and then we'll get right into our presentation, okay?
In 2001, the U.S. Department of Defense asked the world's foremost expert on micronutrition and supplementation to develop a supplement that could provide a singular daily source of nutritional defense and nourishment for our U.S. troops, not just to protect them, but to sustain them as well. This was no small task, as our troops are exposed to some of the most extreme and harsh environments on the planet, and therefore they must meet the very highest standards of health and wellness to protect our country. After 6 years of testing, over $24 million invested, of which $12.5 million came from the U.S. Congress, 9 months of safety testing with the U.S. Military Internal Review Board, and 14 total clinical studies, including 7 human trials, a total of 7 patents were issued, 4 functional patents and 3 formulation patents, making it the most scientifically validated micronutrient supplement in the world. And the benefits are absolutely staggering. One of the patents states micronutrient formulations for the treatment of diabetes mellitus. I would like to introduce you to this incredible company who has made this life-changing product line Once only available to the U.S. military, available to the general public. Testimonials are coming in left and right, and I am so excited to share this powerful information with you. Click the Request More Info button below, and we will instantly take you inside and give you all the incredible details on this life-changing product. Do this right now, and we'll see you on the next page.
I'm not going to make you click on the next page to get more information. We're going to go ahead and give you that information right now if you guys are okay with that. But as Val mentioned, my name is Jonathan Jones, and I deem it a privilege to have an opportunity to share information like this with people, because I believe that everyone should have access to information that has been basically hidden for many, many years. And often there's a segment of the population that never get a chance to hear about alternatives. We're convinced early on that if we're sick, take an aspirin. If you've got a health problem, go to a doctor. If you have an emergency problem, call 911. And that's what we're convinced to do. That's it. We're not conditioned now to do something for ourselves. That's just the way people think. I can tell you an example of one woman. She was my spiritual mother. And I went to go help her with a project. It was an insurance claim or something. I used to help people with insurance claims. And she said, could you come and help me with this? Because I think that they're not being fair. So I went over to her house. I hadn't seen her in a while. She opened the door and I said, oh my goodness, you look terrible. How are you? She says, I feel terrible. And I said, what's wrong? She said, I can't get my blood pressure under control. And I said, well, how high is it? She said 220 over 110 or something, some ridiculously high number. I said, that's stroke level. What? Are you kidding me? She said, well, I'm on three or four blood pressure medications and nothing is helping. I said, well, I have something that might help you. You want to try it? She said, I'll try anything. I got back in my car. I went home and I flew back as quick as I could. And I handed her some of the same product that you just heard about. About 3 days later, I get a text from her, and I was hoping it wasn't somebody in her family telling me that she, was in the hospital or something, but it was a text from her. And I could almost hear her screaming that she was so excited that she had never seen any improvement in her blood pressure up until that time. And she could not believe that it was that much better. It had come down to it was still bad, but it was down to 160 over 90. So it was going in the right direction. She was so excited. The next week, she went to her doctor and told the doctor all about it. And her doctor was excited, right? Raise your hand if you think her doctor was excited. Raise your digital hand if you think her doctor was excited that she had gotten some good results. Nobody raising their hand. Oh, one person raised their hand. Okay. Good on you, Lynn, for having confidence that somebody would have been confident. No, he told her that product that she was taking was interfering with his treatment. Stop taking it. Told her to stop taking it. So when I saw her after that visit, she gave it all back to me. She gave me the entire, what was left in the contents of the package. She gave it back to me and said that her doctor told her it was interfering with his treatment. And there was nothing I could say to help her to understand that he didn't have her best interests at heart. And I wish I could tell you there was a happy ending to the story, but I can't. Because about a year later, she was on dialysis. And about a year or so after that, she died. But that's just to illustrate the conditioning that we have. She did something that changed how she was feeling. But she believed some medical professional over the reality of her own health. The reality of how she was feeling. She believed that. I'm not telling anybody here to go against what your doctor says. I'm not saying that at all. So please don't go away from here thinking that that's what I'm suggesting. But have you ever heard this one phrase? Let's see, it's two words. Two words. Maybe somebody can figure out what those two words are. And the two words, I'm giving you a hint with the two. in the 2 words. Yeah, you figured it out already, haven't you? Second opinion. If somebody's telling you to do something that's going to do you harm, you got to find somebody else that might have a better understanding of your situation. So I always recommend get a second opinion if it contradicts with the reality that you're experiencing. So I don't want to set this up as though it's all bad news, because we have some phenomenal news that we're going to share with you. Because our goal, I'm the research director of the Healthcare Support Association of America, by the way. It's a nonprofit, a 501c nonprofit organization. And our goal is to get the information out to people. That's what our objective is. And we're launching this nonprofit. We've been doing this for years now, but we're officially now about to scale it and expand it to many cities all throughout this country, so that everyone can have access to information being disseminated that's absolutely life-changing. So that's what our objective is right now. It's going to make a big difference. We got Roberta Rice is here. Roberta, are you just saying hello, or are you looking to make a comment?
I want to make a 30-second comment based
All
on
right,
what you just was sharing.
We're going to hear your comment, and because I'm going to share your story later on today anyway. So go ahead, please.
Thank you. I just found out that my sister was diagnosed with breast cancer. So she went, and it's based on what you just shared, with your spiritual mom. And so my sister went to get a second opinion. She was told by the first doctors that she had breast cancer. They ran a ton of tests, okay? Then she went and got the second opinion, and this doctor says she does not have cancer. She just has, like a hickey. No cancer, no nothing. Then her first doctor said that she did, so she went back a third time and said to a different doctor, and they're saying she does not have cancer. Now, the thing about this doctor that told her she had cancer, he said, we can move things around. Our calendars are full, but we can move things around the next couple of days and get you chemo. And I told her no. So she's looking at getting these products because I shared with her what they said about me having a mass. I took these products, and whatever it was, I got pictures of it. The mass passed in my bowels.
Wow.
And they wanted to give me chemo after I saw the oncologist. They wanted to give it to me in 2 days and said, oh, we got to move stuff around on our calendar. We'll get you in right away. No, you won't. I told them no need to. And that was months ago. So I just wanted to share that. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much for sharing your story, Roberta.
Yes, sir.
Roberta said she's had many amazing experiences with some of Dr. Prasad's formulas. And just so you guys know, by the way, this presentation tonight is what we call a VIP. So it's a virtual in-home presentation. So you can just imagine us all sitting around the living room and basically having a chat. So, and that's why, Roberta felt comfortable to raise her hand and comment. And, you guys can feel free to do that. If something's not real clear, just raise your hand. And I don't mind. I'm going to try to keep this as quick as possible, as short as I can, because I know you all have other things that you'd like to do, and nobody wants to sit through a long, drawn out presentation. But I do want to make sure that you have information so that you can make a decision and take action. So, before I go on to talk about, the rest of this information, understand something. You're going to be hearing testimonials. Testimonials are purely anecdotal. That means that what happens to one person may or may not happen to you. And the FDA has not evaluated the statements that I'm making. This is for education and informational purposes only. I strongly recommend that you seek the competent medical advice of professionals that you trust. Now, I have to give a disclaimer like that by law. The law says that I can't give you the impression that a nutritional supplement, a natural supplement, is a cure or treatment for any disease. Okay? Only the government can declare something to be a treatment or cure for a disease. Are we clear on that? Good. I hope we all understand that. But I can tell you this. By law, I'm allowed to share the science with you. By law, I can do that. And by law, if you all agree to be members of the same association that I'm a member of, we can speak freely. So is everyone willing to accept an invitation right now to be a member of the Healthcare Support Association of America for tonight? So just raise your digital hand if you're willing to be a member of the Healthcare Support Association of America just for tonight. It expires in 24 hours. And you're a member. And if you're a member, see, we can exchange ideas and thoughts freely, openly, because the United States Constitution allows us the freedom of a private association. Okay, so, and as long as everybody here agrees to that, and if you stay in this meeting, you have agreed to this. Therefore, I can go on and continue to have our discussion openly and freely. Okay, all right, very good. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to show you a couple of slides, and this slide is going to be a summary of the story behind what Dr. Prasad did and how we got access to this amazing formula that he built together. It was all about the military. That's where this all started. It wasn't about you and me. It wasn't about all of a sudden the United States government decided, oh, hey, let's make an amazing product that's going to make everybody feel better all the time and eliminate the need for pharmaceutical drugs. The government didn't say that. I'm sure that they felt that way, deep down inside. They wanted everybody to feel better, because what country does not want the best for their citizens?
You got any water in there? Just make sure. Yeah.
If you guys could just remember to mute your lines if you're not speaking, that would be very helpful. So anyway, let me stop being facetious here and just let you know that, again, this was originally formulated for the military. Okay, that's the package. That's what it looked like in the very beginning when Dr. Prasad was approved to present this to the government, to the military. They would put that in their army fatigues on the side. It would fit right in their army fatigues on their thigh. And we've had many cases of people who had been in the military confirm that they actually saw this and consumed these products. It was only for a small period of time that the government had it, and it just somehow went away. They canceled the contract and stopped using it. But to go back to the history, we're talking about back in 2001. By 2003, human clinical trials were completed. By the 2006, this product became available for civilian use. That meant that you and I, the general public, could have access to it. You may be saying to yourself, that's 20 years ago. 20 years ago. Why am I just hearing about it now? That's a very good question. That's a very good question. And I can tell you this, I personally feel bad that we've not done a better job, that I've not done a better job with getting the word out. And that's one of the reasons why a group of us, my wife and I, started and founded the Healthcare Support Association of America, because our goal is to take grant monies from people who have very deep pockets and to start doing some massive advertising, because we believe people should know about this, and that's about to happen. And our goal is to make that penetrate not into the upper echelon of society, but down where the rest of us are, where us common folk are. So that's what the goal is, to get that information down there. So that's what's going to be happening. So, but the government and private sector spent $24 million developing this formula. Can you imagine that? I had someone say to me, but I'm taking all this stuff. When they look at the label on the bottle, I'm taking all this stuff. And I said to them, do you seriously think that $24 million investment would produce a garden variety vitamin that you could get at CVS? Seriously? 6 years of testing, 9 months getting past the military internal review board. Do you really think that that's what this will produce? No, this is far beyond that. It's not just a multivitamin. And believe me when I tell you, do not kid yourself into thinking that this is just the same old, same old. The gentleman, the brilliant professor who produced this formula, his name is Dr. Kedar Prasad. He was the world's first radiation biology PhD. He was invited to be a member of the Nobel Peace Prize nominating committee for candidates in the category of medicine. Now, they don't invite just any old body into that arena. For example, my phone has never rung once when it comes to asking me my opinion about who should be nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize. Nobody's ever asked me my opinion about that. I'm a nobody. But I've never been asked that question. Dr. Prasad discovered that vitamin E succinate is an anti-cancer agent. What that means is there's multiple types of vitamin E. This man figured out that one of the types of vitamin E, oh, by the way, just happens to kill cancer cells. It also crosses the blood-brain barrier. Now, I don't know about you, but if I had to have some vitamin E in my body, which we all need it, right? We all need vitamin E. I would personally prefer to have the one that, oh, by the way, was going to kill some cancer cells while it was doing what it did. So I'm glad that that man figured it out. And guess which one he put in his formula? Yeah, you're right. It's going to be the best one. It's not going to be just any old vitamin E that you can put on your skin and slather all over the place for its skin benefits. But no, he chose vitamin E succinate. He was also the former president of the International Society of Cancer and Nutrition, but he was the professor at the University of Colorado School of Medicine for some 30 years. This man's forgotten more than we know. He's authored not 29 books, but closer to 35 books now and almost 300 peer-reviewed publications. So there are hundreds and hundreds of references to Dr. Prasad's work in the official library of medical documents in the United States government. His formulas have received the original formula for the government was awarded 7 patents. One of them, as you heard in the video, was for diabetes. Another one was for heart health. Another one was optimal health, lung health, and so on and so on. So they figured out that the product had phenomenal benefits to the human body. But they started testing it on animals first. So that's the normal thing. When you're testing something for efficacy, they will use animals. And in this case, these were laboratory rabbits, little bunny rabbits. And they were treated very, very well. They both had their favorite meal, both of them. But they went on a trip. They went down to the Johnson Space Center. And, that's under the oversight of NASA. And Dr. Prasad needed something that could produce a high amount of radiation. So these 2 bunnies volunteered for the task. They were happy to get the free tickets to the Johnson Space Center, and they were happy that they were going to get their favorite meals. And they did. They got just beautiful, beautiful meals, lettuce and some carrots and whatever else they had. But one bunny also got in his meal, he got some of Dr. Prasad's formula. Now, the tissue that you're looking at on the screen right now, both of these sets of tissue is lung tissue. Both are lung tissue. The one on the right is the bunny that got Dr. Prasad's formula. That's the way lung tissue is supposed to look. The one on the right just got his favorite meal. Both of them were exposed to lethal doses of radiation. Do you understand that? They were both exposed to lethal doses of radiation. They died from it. But look at the lung tissue of the one on the right. It's as if nothing had even happened. Now, they're able to test the aftermath of radiation exposure. And they found that in less than 72 hours, there's 100% DNA repair when Dr. Prasad's formula is added to the body after exposure to radiation. Less than 72 hours later, 100% DNA repair. Do you know what happens when DNA is damaged and a cell has damaged DNA and replicates? You know what that's called? Somebody open up your mic and tell me what that's called when damaged DNA cell, a cell with damaged DNA can replicate. What's that called?
Cancer.
That's called cancer. That's called cancer. That's an abnormal cell. Dr. Prasad's formula, when added to the mammalian body, showed 100% DNA repair after 72 hours. And we're all being exposed to radiation. Before you say to yourself, well, I'm not being slammed with radiation. Oh, yes, you are. You got a cell phone in your pocket right now. Raise your hand right now if you don't own a cell phone. And I bet you it's within reach. See how fast I was able to grab mine? This is right here. I won't let it get out of my reach. So who's that? Jeannie Dunlap. You raise your hand and said you don't have a cell phone? I don't believe you. She may be the one person on the planet that doesn't have a cell phone.
Oh, no, I have a cell phone. I was raising my hand for a cell phone.
Okay.
I'm on my cell phone watching you.
You
Me
watching on the cell
too.
phone now. Yeah. Well, guess what? That 5G radiation that you got in your hand right now is 100 times more powerful than the first cell phones that was produced. And those first cell phones were like microwaves. And now what we have is 100 times more powerful than that. And we walk around with it every day. We're being slammed with radiation all around us. You wonder why cancer is the number 2 cause of death right now? Just ask yourself why. Now, look at the picture on the right. That's kind of illustrating a cell, a human cell, and all the different things that's trying to attack the cells every single day. And that's free radicals. Free radicals come in the form of oxidative stress or EMF radiation. It comes in toxins in the food that we eat. It's in the air that we breathe. It's in the water that we drink. We are being slammed with free radicals everywhere. It's trying to cause oxidative stress. Everybody who has the disease, guess what? It's all an indication of malnutrition. It's an insufficient amount of nutrition because our body should be able to defend us against any of this. And Dr. Prasad, those 2 rabbits proved it. Proper nutrition can protect the cells in the body. Proper nutrition. So if a person has a disease, and Linus Pauling was the first one that said it, every disease is a malnutrition condition, a deficiency in vitamins and minerals. And Dr. Prasad proved it. Remember those two laboratory rabbits that went to NASA and had a good meal on their way out the door. But Dr. Prasad's product, his formula, meets the CQF standard. So it's not just your garden variety vitamin. So it has the highest quality from the best sources and in the best form. That's what we have. So keep in mind the statement there on the left. You never want to combine vitamin C with copper, manganese, or iron, because that combination can create free radicals. Just remember that. So take a screenshot of that if you want. Do not ever combine those. So what Dr. Prasad put together is exactly what our bodies need to remain in optimal health. He uses vitamin E succinate. Remember what I told you before? It crosses the blood-brain barrier. And it just so happens it's cytotoxic to cancer cells. It will kill cancer cells. So this is what the product looks now. You don't have to go out and buy the Army package anymore. Those packages aren't available anymore. I still have 1 or 2, but this is what the bottle looks like. This is the original formula, just like the military had. That's the original formula right there. Okay, it does all kinds of great things. We're not going to spend a lot of time talking about the technical aspects of what it does. My favorite is that one on the upper right there, alpha lipoic acid and N-acetylcysteine. I don't know why that doesn't say NAC on the top there also, but NAC and alpha lipoic acid, that's all about glutathione. And glutathione is the body's master antioxidant. Just know that. The bottle on the left here is the highest formula, the strongest formula the most advanced formula that Dr. Prasad has put together. He added in 4 additional ingredients to help with EMF radiation. 4 additional ingredients, because 5G radiation was not here back when he did the first formula. So back in 2006, when it was first available to the public, there was no 5G radiation, but now there is. So he added 4 more ingredients. So with the original formula, 2 capsules twice a day is the standard amount for a healthy young person. In this one here, because there's 4 extra ingredients, the standard dose is 3 capsules twice a day. That's the standard dose. Now, my recommendation, if you're over 50, we're aging. For those of us over 60, we're really aging. We can't take the same amount that a healthy 20-year-old would take. So I recommend taking a little bit more. At the very least, take a dose and a half. So I personally take 2 doses twice a day. So I take double doses. So the one here, I take the red bottle, 6 capsules in the morning, and I take almost the same amount at night with dinner. Okay, so double doses if you can, or at least a dose and a half if you can afford it. If you can only afford the standard dose, do that. But my recommendation, because we have a little bit more miles on us, those of us who are a little bit older, then we can't get by with the same amount that a healthy 20-year-old soldier on the battlefield would take. I'm not saying anything about the one on the right because that product has now been discontinued. So you can't even get access to that. But it's just like the green bottle and almost like the red bottle. Just put it to you that way. But either way, it's no longer available. The Brain Boost is one of my favorite. I take that every single morning. That's like taking a double shot of espresso for me. And in the evening, I'll take one more, especially if I got to be lit up like now. I'll take another one to make sure that my brain stays kicked into gear and that I can actually think on my feet. It's amazing. Great for memory. Great for you name it. It's just phenomenal. That's all I can tell you. iBoost, we just had a nice presentation on that this past Sunday. If you did not see the presentation this past Sunday, Dr. Prasad broke down for us that he put something in there that's only found in eagle's eyes. That he put that in there so that we could have it. It builds up right in our retina and makes vision crystal clear. And it won't make you see farsighted like an eagle, but it has caused a lot of people have claimed that they've got great benefits from taking the iBoost. Their vision improved tremendously, is the way many people have said. I haven't taken it long enough to really work at it, but I did notice one day. I thought that my that Zoom had improved the resolution that they were using. I'm sitting down in front of a Zoom meeting and just getting ready to get started, and I said, "Well, boy, Zoom has really improved the resolution. This thing is really. It's like I'm looking at 4K ultra high definition." Nothing on Zoom had changed. I just happen to be able to see better. So I can tell you it does work. And it does work. I haven't got rid of my reading glasses yet, but it does work. And the CBD, we can talk for hours about CBD. The endocannabinoid system, our entire body is craving CBD. We have CBD receptors in every cell in our body. Every cell in our body has a CBD receptor. Our body wants that. But if you have any issues with anxiety, you want to sleep a little bit better, the CBD boost is the way to go. In fact, there's a meeting coming up very soon where Dr. Prasad, the president, the CEO of the company, is going to be discussing the CBD with Dr. Prasad. I believe it's coming up this week. Alfreda can double check on that and make sure that you guys have the information on when that meeting is coming
I think
up.
it's tonight.
Oh,
at,
well,
at 8.
Then we'll have to share the recording with you. We'll be done here by 8 o'clock, so everybody can jump on over there to hear that meeting if you'd like to. But if not, we'll make sure that the recording of that meeting is made available. Dr. Prasad made this gummy formula for kids also. My niece loves this. Everybody else was coming home with COVID. She did not. Everybody was sneezing and coughing and hacking on her. She never brought it home. This girl was taking Microdaily and the gummies every single day. So this product's had real world impact. So we're not just talking about feeling better and placebo impact. We're talking real significant benefits to people in Dr. Prasad's formula. So we're going to tell you a couple of stories, maybe share a few with you now. Roberta Rice just shared her story. So maybe Roberta, if you won't mind unmuting again, if you're still here. I would just normally just play your recording and let people hear you tell us about those 99 pills a week that the doctor wanted to put you on. But we have an illustration here talking about your knee and your all these other issues that you were going through. Just give us a brief rundown of how you benefited from Dr. Prasad's formulas, please.
Okay, go sit at the table. And
You
eat
already
that.
told us a little bit this morning, a minute
Yes.
ago. That was phenomenal to hear that. But go ahead, give us.
Yes, and I have evidence of that. That mask is gone. I was diagnosed with autoimmune disease in 2014, and I was taking another product, and it was somewhat helping. I just have to give credit where credit is due, but the company kept running out of product. And I said, well, that's better than nothing at all, what I was taking. So Dr. P.K. Roberts called me, and because I was very frustrated with what I was going through with the autoimmune disease, 24/7 pain around the clock. I mean, it was dizziness, headaches. I mean, it was just so overwhelming. I was so sick with the autoimmune disease. My husband was caring for me. He was helping to bathe me, get me out of bed, the whole 9 yards. Well, so on and so forth. Doctor put me on 99 pills a week. I didn't realize that until a friend of mine called and she said, "What are you taking? And how many are you taking?" So to narrow it down, it was 13 pills a day,
Mm.
7 days a week, additional 8 pills on the weekend. I had no idea until she counted it and said, "You're on 99 pills a freaking week. Are you serious?" Long story short, so
And that's
Dr. Pink, yes,
pharmaceutical with
yeah,
side
oh,
effects. So go ahead.
yes, yes, well, horrible side effects. So Dr. PK called me and I was complaining to her. And then she called me months later and then she said, "I have something I want you to try." And at that point, I would have tried anything, to be honest with you. And so I did. She overnighted to me the micro daily products. And I started taking these products, and I'm telling you, thank God for Dr. Prasad because you all had no idea how ill I was. I was so ill. I talked to my husband about funeral arrangements, literally, that because I felt myself dying. I really did. I was almost out of here. And started taking those products. And I'm telling you guys, look, if we can take pharmaceuticals and they make us so sick, and side benefits. And I'm just giving the testimony. I know what they say you have to say this about you not we're not, the stuff is not doctors, it don't claim to heal and all that. And that's what I don't understand is that they tell us that we can give credit where credit is due. Dr. Prasad products are amazing. And so I started taking it. I'm off of, long story short, I'm off of all pharmaceutical drugs, which were 99 medications a week. And these, and like I said, my blood pressure is normal. My high cholesterol was normal. My cholesterol level is normal. My A1C last time I had my physical recently is 5.4, and I was up like 8.9, 9.4 with my A1C is down to 5.4, and it has maintained that ever since. I no longer have dizziness. I am a um, walking health and wellness. I'm living the life that I intended to live, that God intended for me to live. And so I wanted to share that. Yes, sir. That's done. That's as quick as I can make it.
Thank you. Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much, Roberta Rice. That's quite impressive. That's a real life
Um,
story right there, folks.
the last thing I would say to that,
Hmm.
it would be to anybody's loss not to take these products.
I
You
agree.
are really cheating your health out of the best that it can be. And that's what I will end with. Thanks again.
Very good. Thank you. Well said. Very well said. And I'm going to show you just a couple of pictures here. If you guys are uncomfortable with seeing pictures of open wounds and things like that, then you might want to just turn your head away from the screen for a couple of moments. But just to show you some dramatic responses that some individuals have had with these products, I think everybody needs to see this. The screen that you're looking at right now is telling you about someone named Rick. The man had basal cell carcinoma and open lesion right on his face. So, and I'm about to show you that picture. And what happened to him just a few months later, between August and November, well, it's just shocking. It's shocking, and it actually seems like it's just not real. You just don't believe it. So I'm showing it to you now, and that's real. That's not AI generated. That actually happened, and we've had folks at some of our meetings that actually took the pictures and gave those to us and confirmed that it actually really did happen. And then we have one other one. This woman, I wonder if I can just go straight to that picture in this. Maybe so. right there. This woman, her doctor wanted to operate on her and remove her foot. You see the melanoma, it's cancer in her foot, on the bottom of her foot there on the left. So they were just going to amputate the foot. On April the 18th is when that picture was taken. And on May the 1st, she started taking Dr. Prasad's formulas on April the 18th when the picture was taken. And this is about 2.5 weeks later that that wound was completely gone. A couple months later, when she went to the doctor and then got a second opinion, she no longer had any cancer in her body. They did PET scans and everything, and they couldn't find any cancer in her body. So, and again, that's not AI generated. Those
fantastic.
That really happened. And if I didn't know the people involved personally, I personally would have a hard time believing that was the case. And this is what you're seeing here on the right side of the screen now. That's what the tissue I just showed you is exactly what this is describing. The bottom square on the right, you see where it says Ecuador patient, melanoma necrosis. So Dr. Prasad, when we asked him to describe what he was looking at, he said that's a necrotic tissue around the edge of that wound. And they were going to amputate. So, but by May the 1st, she was fine. She was fine. So here's the question for you. And you may be wondering about this. You know, how is it possible that a natural product can have that kind of an effect on a cancer cell? How is that possible? Is that for real that it can do that? Well, Dr. Prasad broke it down for us. He's written a published paper describing what takes place in the body. And I'm just going to show you an illustration of it here now. The brown thing that you're looking at there in the middle is a cancer cell. Those little channels that look like tunnels, those slots at the top going from the outside to the inside, those are called transporters. Those allow nutrients to go in and waste to come out of the cells, of the cancer cell. Down the bottom left, you see glucose and glutamine trying to go into the cell. But there's a yellow thing and a purple thing there blocking the way. Those are illustrating antioxidants. That's what happens. The antioxidants go in and block the transporters and stop glucose and glutamine from being able to go into the cells. Now you might be saying to yourself, so what's the big deal? Glucose and glutamine can't go into the cells. Cancer cells must have both in order to exist. If they can't get glucose and glutamine, they will starve to death. They must have it. So when you put high doses of antioxidants in the human body, cancer don't have a chance. That's why you see the cracks in the side that look like earthquakes in that cell. It's starting to shrivel up and dry up and break apart. That's how it works. Okay? So that's the illustration to show you.
Amazing.
I think it's amazing, and I think a lot of folks believe it's amazing, but it's an absolute fact. So what Dr. Prasad has done can revolutionize health. And it's a terrible secret that needs to be told. And that's the reason why we're working hard to try to get the word out. We're working hard to try to get the word out. And we're not going to stop until more people, everyone who wants to hear about it, gets to know about how micronutrients can make a difference in their life and in the life of someone that they care about. Are there any questions about what we've discussed? And we've got some here who have been using the product for some time. If you'd like to share your story, we'd like to hear it. But if you have some questions about anything that we've discussed so far, feel free to ask your questions now.
Desiree Williams had a question. Desiree, do you want to propose that question again?
Desiree, maybe she's having trouble unmuting, so we'll listen out for Desiree. Some people wonder, do you have to stop taking?
She has her question in the chat. It's
About?
can Can this heal idiopathic intracranial hypertension, CSF fluid on the brain and spine? I need some help. I'm 37 and suffering. Now I have to go in for a 12 millimeter mass they see in the left breast.
That's a very good question. And if you email me that, we can do the research on it. But I can tell you this: there's one thing is 100% fact that micronutrients won't hurt. They won't hurt. And when it comes to a mass, if it's an abnormal cell, it must take in glucose and glutamine. Taking micronutrients, antioxidants in high doses will block the uptake of glucose and glutamine, period. There's no other way to put it. If it's a mass and it's abnormal cells, it will block the uptake of glucose and glutamine. So we highly recommend that you drink plenty of water, so don't expect those dead cancer cells got to go someplace and they need a pathway out. And the way that they get out is through the front or through the back. So they go out as waste from the body. And water, hydration, proper hydration helps to facilitate that process. And we also recommend a few other things too, to just make sure that your liver stays healthy. So you can do additional things to keep that going. Castor oil packs, milk thistle, and a few other things to help with liver support. But hypertension is very complicated. Hypertension can be a deficiency in magnesium glycinate. It can be a deficiency in beetroot. It can be a deficiency in a buildup in calcium in the coronary arteries. It can be a kidney problem. It can be a liver problem. It can be arteries, veins. It can be anything. So we highly recommend that we take a multi-faceted approach. But we have found many people, the vast majority have found, like my spiritual mother, that blood pressure is improved almost right away when they add micronutrients, proper nutrients in the body. But if it doesn't, then anyone can send us an email and we'll be happy to share additional things that can be done to support that effort. Go ahead, Layla Faison.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
I'm having issues with inflammation. I had knee surgery, a revision, might I add, back in April, and I'm still having complications, burning and pain in my right knee. I've just exchanged one pain for another.
Yeah.
So how can this help me, these products?
Miss Roberta Rice shared her story, and her knee was terribly swollen. She couldn't even stand on it. And so she wrapped it with saran wrap and made a paste of olive oil and coconut oil and micronutrients and kept it on there so it absorbed it in. And I would highly recommend that. Maybe use castor oil and a paste, a mixture of micronutrients. It'll absorb it and help reduce the inflammation and help it to heal. In fact, I would even include maybe a little bit of collagen peptide. Make sure you're taking that also. But the core 4 is definitely the way to go. Is the core 4.
Yeah, I miss her testimony. I am at the moment. What I am doing has helped greatly. Is I'm doing turmeric and black pepper and coconut oil. Good. And I made that into a paste, and I do wrap it up. And then I put a cold pack over it for like 20 minutes, and that has helped tremendously. But I want something
guarantee you,
to take.
If you add that micronutrients, if you add the micronutrients to that paste,
right,
then it's a game changer for you.
Okay, that sounds like a plan.
Take the core 4 because the collagen peptide will help the knee to rebuild. We've had folks who all they did was change and add the collagen peptide to it and no longer needed knee replacement surgery, torn meniscus, and all kinds of things healed up.
Oh, okay. So
according to them,
collagen peptide along with the.
Yeah, it's the core 4, and Val will help you to understand how to get the core 4 and what that is.
Okay. All right, Val. You taking notes for me? I'm eating at the moment. I can't write it down.
Mm-hmm. And this is all recorded, and so she'll have access to this, and everyone can listen to it again.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
Good question. Thank you very much. Go ahead, Lynn.
Yes, as you know, I made the mistake of going off the micro daily for a few months, and I found my
Lynn Mansueto. Hello.
Hello.
Welcome, Lynn.
Yes, don't make that mistake of going off micro daily. So go ahead.
Yeah, I've had so many issues in the past, and I know it has helped me tremendously. My attention goals and the autoimmune through the roof. So I have actually been doing a higher amount of the EMF, trying to recoup what I let go of. And but I did have a question too, and I'm doing my best to not fall off and stop taking it again, because I did see a tremendous difference in going downhill once I went off. So don't make that mistake, friends. Um, I did have a question. How much of the micronutrient would you add? Like, say, if you're making a paste, like you were talking about, how much do you think would be reasonable to add to it?
There's no studies been done on it.
Okay.
So it's impossible to say how much, but just make sure that wherever there's oil, especially if it's castor oil, because that castor oil is going to penetrate and it's
True.
going to pull the micronutrients in. You can't overdose on it, so there's no such thing as making too much, putting too
Okay.
much on it. So
Right.
yeah, can't go
Yeah.
wrong.
I know I had problems with the neuropathy and all that flared up pretty bad after I stopped the micro daily.
Ooh,
So yeah, so I'm working very hard to stick with it, and I know it takes time to rebuild, but I'm doing
yes.
a lot better than I was. So be careful, friends. Don't fall off the wagon there.
Yes, very good, very good. Thank you, Len. Go ahead,
Thank you.
Alfreda.
Okay, hi. So I have two stories. One is my own, and one is my sister's. And my sister was diagnosed with cancer, breast cancer, and oh goodness, it was I forget the type. Maybe it'll come back to me, but it was a cancer that they said it would mushroom out like a flower.
Oof.
And so it ended up consuming the whole breast. Now, unfortunately, in the beginning, she kind of, maybe she was in shock. She knew in October of last year. She didn't tell me till December, and she didn't really get started doing anything from the doctor or with us until February. Now, of course, I'm like panicking because I know I have something to help her, and I can't open up her mouth and put it down her throat.
Right.
And so, but I guess even her doctor was like, "Why are you waiting? You know, why? And I'm trying to get her to move along, but it got to the point where it became a stage 3 cancer, and so that was very concerning. And she had to, they were encouraging her to take chemotherapy. And even though, I maybe would have did something different, I would have, but she made the decision to do chemotherapy. So I had to allow her to make that decision for herself. But I said, you very much have to make sure that you take the recommended dose of micro daily, because the micro daily will protect you from a lot of the side effects that you're going to get from chemotherapy. And they had the first round, and then they were going to give her one that was even more dangerous. And so December 1st, they did an exam, just a physical exam her doctor did, and her doctor said she did not feel any tumor in her breast. Her breast said, because the progression was going to be, we finished this chemotherapy, and then they were going to, the next plan was to do the PET scan or MRI or whatever, then it's to cut the breast off. And so I'm like, well, thinking, and for the first time I'm hearing my sister be more positive about it. She says, well, If they can't feel anything, then they don't need to cut my breast off. So Monday she just took her last chemotherapy treatment, and the nice thing is that she did lose her hair, but my sister she also had alopecia, so that was probably just a little bit would have
Yeah.
added to that. But she wasn't after the first round of chemo, and then when she really got structured on taking her micro daily the way that we recommended, she really didn't get sick. She would be watching her grandkids. I'd call her up on a Saturday, because first it was on Fridays, and she'd be cleaning the house and
That's unusual.
making her vegetable smoothies, and and grocery shopping, and just doing normal things. And so it helped her to I think it very much helped her to get through that process. And so they did another exam on Monday, and so the doctor said, well, she feels a little something. So but I'm hopeful that, and as long as she stays on the micro daily, it'll take care of the rest. That and hopefully she will let that happen, because chemo. One thing I always remember about when my mother had breast cancer, and I took her to Atlanta to the. It was a off. They used lower doses of chemo, and they would use higher doses of natural things like vitamin C and things like that. And I asked the doctor. I said, "Well, why is it chemo is always the first recommendation a lot of times?" And he told me verbatim. He said that doctors just hope that the chemo kills the cancer before the chemo kills the patient. Did you hear what I said?
Mm-hmm.
They hope it kills the cancer before it kills the patient.
Mm-hmm.
Now, my mother, it killed her. They kept giving her more and more, and at the insistence of her sisters in their ignorance, they convinced her to stop taking a product that raised glutathione and protected all of her organs, and that chemo killed my mother.
Mm-hmm.
And so, just looking back at that. And then the other thing I just want to mention with the transition of so many people, I think it was like 800,000, that if you could correct me if you heard anybody heard it, that are being affected by the Medicare, the ACA. 800,000 people do not have health care insurance now. So what are you going to do? Are you going to sit around and just allow your health to decline because you don't have insurance now, or are you going to be proactive, and try to get your immune system to the best that you can get it, so that you can live the rest of your life to the best that you can, physically can. We can't stop 100% of everything, but you can have a good quality of life well into your 90s. Dr. Prasad is 91 years old.
Mm-hmm.
He's 91 years old and still writing books. He's going to be traveling this year to 7 medical conferences, training people about his product. And the other short one was myself. Last year, or end of 2024, my body just felt like it was misfiring. I was having all these different symptoms, And to me, it happens about every 7 years. It seems like my body's like, oh, it's time to
Just act up.
reset yourself. Yeah. And so, and I couldn't, I was like, I got to get to what is the cause of this? What's the umbrella? And then all this other stuff is dripping from around it. Well, finally, I found out that it was lupus. Okay. So I'm like, oh, brother. So not only was it lupus, but because I had enlarged lymph nodes under my arms, they wanted to do a biopsy because they said, oh, you should have cancer. You probably have cancer too. And then they also said, oh, and you should be sick as a dog because my white blood cell was they were dangerously low. You should be catching everything that walks past you. And at my meetings, I hug everybody's always hugging me, so it's like, but I wasn't getting sick. And that, unbeknownst to me, I was that way probably since March of 2024. Didn't know it. Didn't know it.
Wow.
And so when they did the anti-DNA double-stranded tests for lupus, my number was 386. And so, but when the hematologist, I talked to him, he said, oh, you probably should have cancer. You should be really sick all the time, in and out of the hospital. And but then he said something very interesting. He said, but your micronutrient level in your body is they're all at good levels. And so I know why they're at good levels. So I said, well, I take a patented micronutrient formula every day. And this is what he told me. He said, oh, that's not it. I'm like, and I looked at him because I know I can't control my facial expressions. But in my mind, I was like, I said, you are a quack. And when he said, well, do you want to come back, set another appointment to come see me? I was like, no. And so then he told me, you need to go to a rheumatologist. So with that information, I got into the rheumatologist that day. Now, how hard is that? It's hard to get into that. I got in that day. And so he said the same thing. He said, you should be really sick. We're going to have to test you, and you should have cancer. Oh, but the hematologist told me I didn't have cancer. And that's when I confirmed. I wasn't worried about it anyway, but that's when I confirmed this product will help prevent you from getting cancer. Okay, remember I talked about being proactive? That's one of the reasons why I got on this product, because my mother had died from breast cancer. And so he said, yeah, you should be catching everything, but he checked my scalp, my skin from head to toe. He said, you don't have any rashes. He said, the only way I could tell you have lupus is from your blood test. And so I said, well, I take a micronutrient formula every day that I believe is the reason why I don't have all the stuff that you say I should have. And his answer was, really? What's in that stuff? And he was like, can you get me the ingredients? I need to know now. So I had Jonathan send me the picture and of the EMF, and he was like, well, you definitely need to stay on this product. So of course, but they wanted me to take their stuff too. And I said, well, if I take your stuff, which is the hydroxychloroquine and prednisone, I said, then I will get cancer and I will be sick all the time if I take your stuff. And after that, they were trying to backpedal. Oh no, it's not going to do that. So I had to play the game because I do work and so I ordered it, but I didn't take it for like 3 months. And then, I had kind of a slump because I was doing my thing, smoothies and, kale and spinach and fruit and less meat and all this kind of stuff, and up my dose of micro daily. So I think I did take what they wanted me along with the micro daily for about 5 months. And so, because I said, well, maybe it'll protect me from side effects just like it does with cancer and chemo. So that I got diagnosed February 20th, 25. October, when I went to see him, I said, "Can you run that test again?" Because I was like, I want to know if what I'm doing is helping me, if I'm moving the needle back or whatever. So remember, the first test said my number was 386. On October 23rd, 2025, just 8 months later, he told me the test said that my number had dropped to 59. Okay. And I was like, all right, so what you got to say about that? 59, what is it? I was like, I know what that means. That means it's going backwards. So he finally admitted, he said, yes, you are in remission. And I said, well, what's normal?
There's
He
no
said,
such thing as remission for lupus. So he basically said it worked. That product worked.
well, he said normal is
That's
30,
beautiful.
but I'm at 59. So, and he said, well, we normally don't retest because they said you're going to have this for the rest of your life. I said, no, I'm not. I'm not going to tell myself that.
Nope.
And so even when I go back next month, I'm gonna be all right. You need to test. I need you to test me periodically so I know what's happening. Because I don't want to slip off the wagon. But
That's
um,
fantastic. And it's clear that it's made a huge difference because we can tell in how you sound, your disposition is better, and everything is going in the right direction for you. So we're excited for you with that because stories don't usually end this way. They don't always end this way. So
mm-mm.
thank you very much, and thanks for sharing your story and your sister's story. This is a big deal. It's a big deal. So I hope you guys heard this. Now again, we have to say testimonials are anecdotal. What happens to one person may or may not happen to you, but these are real people telling their own personal stories, and what they're sharing is what they believe to be true. They're attributing the difference in their well-being to adding micronutrients to their diet. So I showed you a screen there that gives you an idea as to how to buy it, but you get back with Val or whoever invited you here, and they'll guide you, and you can choose the bundles that work best for you. You choose the packages, and they'll help you get it because you want to get it for the cheapest price. And the company Engage Global is working hard to subsidize it for people to get it cheaper, so you can get it for the cheapest price possible. So we want everybody to be healthy as they can possibly be. So I think that pretty much covers just about everything. So Val, I am going to step aside, and you can speak to your guest. And thank you very much for again for allowing me to share and make this presentation for everyone. So you folks have yourselves a good night, and thank you again for joining.
And thank you, Jonathan. And I want to thank everybody
Thank
that
you.
came out. And we need to get the word out about this product because it's making a huge impact on people's lives. People are sick now, and they're getting sicker. So it's our job to get the word out there. And you cannot put a price on your health. I tell people this. You can't. You pay now, you pay later. Surgery, co-pays, you name it. Okay. So get with me, and I can set up you getting your products. I will also send you the link to the 150 videos that have been put out periodically over the past years. And it has just about every disease that you could name and where people had good testimonials, okay?
Very good.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, everybody, for coming.